So yesterday I have created this program to fetch the data from header table, item table using for all entries. So the prerequisite is we need to fetch the first internal table. It should not be empty. Whenever we are applying for all entries, before we are applying this, we need to check the first internal table should not be empty. And so as a part of parameters, we do have one more option. One second now. So using parameters, we have one more option. We can able to create parameters, sorry, radio buttons. So to create radio buttons, again, we have to use the same keyword called parameters. Suppose there is a requirement whenever user click on the first radio button, this data, whatever I have fetched, that should be displayed in the output. Suppose when I click on the second radio button, it has to show a message like the data has been displayed. So first radio button, if user click on that, it should be display the data which we have fetched from header table and item table. Suppose user click on the second radio button, it has to display a message. So that is a requirement now. So to create a radio button, we have to use a declarative keyword called parameters and radio button name. Syntax is radio button parameters, radio button name, the radio button group name. So yesterday I have explained till here. And I need one more radio button, so which is the same group. Now two radio buttons are there. So if I execute in the input screen, parameter is nothing but which is used to create an input screen. So R1, R radio buttons are there. Right now, if I click on R1, it is not displaying anything because I haven't written the logic. If user click on R1, it has to write something or whatever the action needed. I haven't written logically. So that is the reason we are not getting anything. Suppose if I click on art, similar way, R2 also. If I click on this one, if I click execute, it won't display anything. Like whatever the logic I need, I haven't written anything. See, it is empty. But my requirement is if I click on first radio button and if I click on execute, it should be display table where it is displaying all the sales order number, creation date, sales document category, item, material number. So for that, I have to write the logic. So whenever user click on first radio button, so click on first radio button, meaning here we have to pass the value as capital X, meaning it is selected. First radio button selected or second radio button selected or it is not selected. So how do we pass the values? We have to pass the value as capital X. Capital X meaning it is selected. Right now R1 is selected. So how can I pass if R1 is equal to capital X? So we have to use the condition because we don't know whether user is click on first radio button or second radio button. So we need to control the flow. So the condition we are using if statement. If R1 is selected. So R1 selected meaning R1 is equal to capital X. Suppose if R2 selected means I should write if R2 is equal to capital X. Or else we can write either way. Like if R1 selected means R2 is not selected. Right? If R1 at a time, I can select only one because these are under the same group. So same group at a time, we can select only one radio button. So if R1 is selected means R2 is not selected. Like one will be true, the other one will be false. So both ways we can write the logic. But if I see R1, R2, like here PVBLN, we know what is the name of the field for this PVBLN. So I'm entering the data like 4. And if I click on execute, it will be display the data. But user doesn't understand what is mean by PVBLN. They don't know the technical terms, what P underscore this one. And what it mean by R1, R2. So whenever we are creating an input screen, always remember we have to give the selection text. So we need to pass the text to this input screen. Always remember, if you are creating any input screen, either it is a parameter or select options, always remember we have to pass the selection text. So what is mean by PVBLN? It is a sales document number. Suppose if I write sales document here, user can understand, oh, here I can pass the sales order number. So user can understand by seeing the label of the field. Similar way, R1, R2. So to pass this text, we have to go to from the menu bar, text elements, and here go to selection text. If you see here, question mark is there. So here we can write the field label. Suppose PV billion is nothing but sales document number. So I can pass the text like it. Selection text is used to pass the text to the selection field. In the input screen, whatever the fields are there, if you want to pass the text, we have to choose go to from the menu bar, then choose the tab as selection and R1. So first radio button. So this is to display the data. To display the data. This one, let me write display message and here display table data. So once you write the text, save it and you must activate it. Otherwise, these changes, whatever you have given, it won't be reflected in the input screen. So once it is in active mode, come back and once activate your program. If I execute, so earlier here instead of sales document number, PVBLN is there. Instead of display table data, R1 is there. And similar way here, R2 was there. So user doesn't understand what is those field values or alphabets. So to make them understand, we have to give the selection text. Always remember in the input screen. So if they don't know what is mean by this PVBLN, how they will pass the input, like how they will know here I need to enter sales order number or material number or sales document type. So they cannot understand. So that is the reason we have to pass the selection text to the input screen. Now we'll write the logic. So here I am writing select query, right? So first radio button. What is the first radio button? It has to display the data. If user is select on the first radio button, it has to display the data. So this logic I have written here, like it should be fetch the fields from first database table, then based on the first internal table, it will be fetched from the second database table. And finally, it will be displayed using the final internal table. So these all I will write with the help of if statement. If R1. So what is my first radio button name, which I declared in the program? R1. So if R1 is equal to capital X, meaning if user select on R1. So R1 is equal to capital X, meaning we have selected the first radio button. Whatever the name we have given, we have selected that radio button. If it is selected, then it has to go to this table, fetch the data. Then it will go to the next table, fetch the data. With the help of loop, it will be display the data. Then else. I have one more radio button, right? So if user select on the first radio button, it should be display the table data. Suppose instead of first radio button, if user has clicked on the second radio button, like they want to see some message. So that I can write in the else part. So one is true, the other one is false. As I told you, at a time we can select one radio button within the same group, meaning Here I have same group. Only one group is the G1. So this group, what are the radio buttons are there? I can select at a time one. Either I can select R1 or R2. Both I cannot select simultaneously. Suppose if I have G2 one more group or any other name, if I have any one more button group is there, at that time I can select from first group onwards one radio button, from next group onwards one more radio button. But in our scenario, at a time we can select only one radio button. So if first one is selected means second one is not selected. So first one will be true, second one will be false. So false one we can write in the else part. Else, and to display any message, we have a message class. So let me explain that message class. So whenever we want to display any message, we have a message class. 1 second. Okay. So message class are used to display the message to the end user. Like whenever we click on save button, program has saved. So like that we can see a status bar message. So how we are able to see with the help of message class only. Suppose if any syntax errors are there in our program, we will see with the red color one. Let me show you practically. Suppose this is a program. Let me close it. So this is end. I'll save. I'll check. If you see at the bottom right mark with there is a text, right? So this is a message. No syntax error found. So this is one of the message. And suppose if there is an error, see this is it is writing it has written with error, the red color one. So how can we understand this program is having an error with the help of this message? Like program and the text. The last statement is not complete. Here you can see type is there. If I place the cursor, it is showing error. So what is the error type? So what is the message type here? Error message. And if any warning messages are there, that will be appear with the triangle, yellow color triangle. Suppose if any success messages are there, that will be appear with tick mark. Like earlier, we have seen this one, right? This is a success one, successfully saved. So if you are saying anything with the right one, that is nothing but success message. So like this, we have various message types like ABAT, error, information, success or status, warning. So these are the messages we have in ABAP. So if we want to display any message to the end user, mostly we use error message, information, and success. We don't use abort and warning. But whenever we create any object, we will be see these kind of message types. If you remember, one day when I have executed the program, it directly like there is no syntax in the program, but when I clicked on the execution, it wasn't shown any output, but it has displayed with red color lines at the top. 4 or 5 red color lines are there. So at the time I told you it is a runtime error. So runtime error is nothing but here abort. So this is one of the message type which doesn't give any error message whenever we are checking within the program level. Directly, it will stop our transaction. Meaning, suppose this is our program. Here, it won't show any syntax errors. Like if I click on check, there is no syntax error. But when we click on execute, sometimes the message, sometimes it won't give any output. Directly, it will go to the dump. So that dump messages are nothing but abort messages or runtime errors we used to say. So that won't display any output. That won't give any syntax error within the program. But directly it will go to the dump. Dump meaning it won't display any output, but it will stop our transaction code. Meaning it will come out from SC38. Suppose this is SC38 transaction code. So when I click on execute, if I click on execute, it directly go to the dump. It won't give any screen. It will stop our transaction code. If we are in SC38, it will come out from the SC38 transaction code. Suppose if I am creating any table in SC11, it will be come out from SC11. So those type of errors we call it as ABAP, or we can say short bumps, or we can say runtime errors. So such type of errors we won't display to the end user. So just we will give either it is an error message or information successful. With these three types of error messages, we used to display to the end user. Suppose user has entered wrong data. Here, this is our sales document number. User has entered some sales document number which is not existed in the table. So whenever they click on execute, see there is no output, but user cannot understand. Like even though I have entered sales order number, it is not displaying anything. They don't understand. So we have to display a message like entered sales document number is invalid, or please enter a valid sales order number. So if they look at the message, then they can understand, okay, I have entered wrong input. So that is the reason I am unable to get the output. So with the help of the message, they can understand. In our real life also, we used to do similar way. Like this example is suppose if you have placed order in any online web portals like Amazon or Flipkart or Myntra. So once you placed into the cart and after do the payment, you will get a message like order has placed successfully. So once you look at that one, so you will understand, okay, order has been placed. Suppose if they don't specify anything, so you might not be understand whether the order is placed or not. Similar way, for SAP also, for the end users, whenever they want to fetch something, if they don't get any output, they don't understand what is the reason behind it, why we are not getting any output. They don't understand anything. So that is the reason we can communicate with them with the help of messages. If they entered any wrong input, we can display message like you have entered the wrong input, or please enter a valid input so that they can understand. And similar way, information message also. So if you want to like, please enter the valid number, that message we can type it as error or information. Depends on the requirement. Same message we can pass it as error message or information. Suppose if they have entered the data correctly, we can write successfully fetch the data or successfully data has been displayed. Suppose if they are inserting data into a table, we can write the data has inserted successfully. So with the help of this message, they can understand, okay, whatever I have entered, that has been saved. So it is like a confirmation. So warning messages, these messages we don't preferable to show to the end user. Only we use error, information, success or status. So this warning messages, like whenever we are developing an object, we can able to see these type of messages. Suppose if you get any warning message, we can ignore it. Meaning, if I go to SC11 transaction code, this is the table, does not exist. If you say this type of message, if I place a cursor, it is showing warning. So if any warning message is there, whenever we are developing an object, if you cannot ignore, like if you don't specify whatever it is saying, then even though there is a warning message, I can able to get the output. Like if I want to see something, I can able to get out, even though we have a warning message in our program or in our development object, till it will allow to do the next action. But if we have any error in the program, if we have any error, like red color one, if we have any error, then it won't allow to do the next step. If we have this type of errors, then we cannot do the next action. Next step we cannot do. But if it is a warning message, just it will be displayed like information to us. Either that is like a optional one. Either you can maintain it or you cannot maintain it. That is up to you. So we can ignore the warning and we can go for the next step. But when it comes to error message, first we have to clear the error, then only we can move on to the next step. So that is the difference between error and warning. So warning is like an optional one. Whatever it is showing the message, so that we can follow it, or else you can ignore it because it is an optional one. But if it is an error message, you cannot ignore it. You must do it. Otherwise, it won't allow to do the next action. So these are the message types we have. So these messages we can create locally and globally. So locally in the sense, if you are creating within the program itself or within the itself, that is nothing but we are saving locally. Once I save locally, I cannot access into other objects or other programs. Suppose if I want to write error message in the else part, so I can write within the program itself with the help of message keyword. So to declare any messages in ABAP, we use a declarative keyword called message. Like to declare any variables, we use data keyword. To fetch the data from the database, we use select keyword. To create any input screen for single value, we use parameters. Similar way, to write any messages in ABAP, we use a declarative keyword called message. So with the help of this keyword, we can able to display the message. So message, what do you want to display the message? The text you can write in the single quote. Suppose my message is data had been displayed successfully. Type. So we have to use message keyword. And what is your message? What you want to display to the end user? That message you can write. Then we have various messages, right? Like about error, information, success, warning. So which type of error message, which type of message you want to display to the end user? You need to specify. Either it is the error message or success or information. So you need to specify the message type also because system cannot understand. There are various types of messages. So which type of message it has to display to the end user? We need to specify with the help of type. Message, what is your message? You need to write, then type. Type after which type of message you want to show to the end user. Suppose if it is an error message, you need to write within the single quotes, capital E. And always remember, whatever you are writing in a single quotes, this is a case sensitive. If you are writing in a small letters, it doesn't reflect, like it won't show as error message. So you must write with capital letters only. If it is error message, you have to use E. If it is a success message, capital X. If it is a information, capital I. So suppose if I want to display it as a success message, so I have to use capital. So let's see this one. So now this message I have created within the program itself, meaning I created locally. Suppose if I want to access same message, whatever I have done this text, if I want to access into another program, I cannot able to do. So within the program itself, I can use the same message. Outside of this program, I cannot access this message because I have created locally. Only this program can be accessible. Let me activate like cute. Suppose if it is 4. So by default, first radio button is selected, and whenever I click on execute, it has displayed the table date. Now I'll select the second radio button. I'll click on execute. You can see there is a message like status message. Data has been displayed successfully. So this text I have written within the single quote, and it is displaying with the right mark because I have given it as a success message or status message. Suppose if I specify, let's see how it is displayed. Now I have changed it as an error message. Just I wanted to show you the way it's reflect. So I'll choose the second radio button. Now see, it is showing with red color one. It won't see whatever the message I have written. It will look at only the type, which type I have given. Even though I have written the text, it is successful message, but it is not taking the green color one because system doesn't understand whatever I have written in the text form. It will look at only the type which I have given. So based on the type itself, it will be take and it will be displaying the output screen. And if I go back, now I'll give information message. Execute. Second one. Give. If I don't see, there is an information message, like there is a pop-up. It is displaying like a pop-up. Data has been displayed successfully. If I place a cursor, it is an information message. So if user want to see a message like a pop-up message, then we can use information message. Even though it is an error, if they want to see in the form of a pop-up message, then we can use information message. Suppose if they want to see error message, then we can use type as E. If they want to look at any success message, then we can use type S. So this message I have created locally. Suppose if I want to create a message globally, then I have to use a transaction SC91. So we do have a separate transaction code to create a message class that is SC91. Suppose if you created a message using SC91, then that message you can call into any number of programs, into any objects. We do have different objects, like we can create subroutines, we can create function modules, we can create batteries. So wherever we require same message, we can call this message into the other object. The transaction code is SC91. Let's go to SC91. So here we need to specify what is your message class. So right now we are going to create a message class. Message class is nothing but it's like a container which is having all the messages into this message class. Container is nothing but it's like a folder. Like if we have any text or Word documents, we will all together we will store in separate folder. Similar way, all the messages we can store in one place that is called as message class. Let me show you any existing one. So this is a message class. It's like it acts as a folder or container. And inside this, you can see there are different messages are there. Like sales order details are successfully displayed. Sales order is not existed. So these are the messages inside this message class. Suppose if I want to use first message, this message I can use. Suppose if I want to use this message, I can able to use. But how the system will understand whether I need to display this message or this message, because this message class is having three different message type, message text. So whenever we want to display a message from a message class, we can use a unique number. If you see at the left side, there is a column with number. and it is a unique number. It holds unique number like triple zero. It will start from triple zero and it will end triple nine. The last digit will be triple nine. So we can store in one message class 9,000 messages because it will be starts from triple zero. It will end triple nine. Suppose if you want to use any message from this message class with the help of message number, we can able to display the message. So system will go to this message class, then it will go to the message number. So we need to specify to the system because one message class can have 1,000 messages. But at which point of time it has to display which message, how it will recognize based on the message number. And even if I go to SC91, I have created this message class. So in future, if you are practice, you will create a message class, right? So a message class like in SC91, so many custom messages are there. So how the system will be knowing that I need to go to that particular message class and message number. So whenever we are declaring, here we need to specify message class and message number. Because in AC91, so many people are going to create message classes. But we need to tell the system, this is my message class and this is the message number you need to display at this point of time. So that we need to write logically. So before writing, let's create one message class. It can be starts with Z or Y. And say SM2 message. So give the message class name, click on create. So it is created in English language. Okay, so you can give the short text message class. So give a meaningful text, then save it. So you can select it here. And there is no activation, I believe, here. So check. There is no activation. Just you need to check it. And once it is done, so already it is in active mode. So I can go to messages tab. So if you go to the attributes tab, it will display all the generic information like technical information, the package, which package this message class has been stored, when it is changed on, what is the username, what is the short text, which language this message class is there. So those information we can find under the attributes tab. So if you want to maintain any messages, click on messages tab. And here you can write the messages. It will be starts from triple zero and it will be ended triple nine. So the last message is triple nine. So these many messages you can put into a single message class. So let me scroll up here. Suppose invalid sales, invalid sales document number. Oh, I'm writing it 039. Let me go to the first one. We can write anywhere, but I want to start from the beginning. So we can write the messages here. So right now I'm saving only one message here. So now it is checked. So once it is done, I'll go to program. So this is a program. So this is a message class I have used. Sorry, this is a message I have created locally. So let me write here message created locally. Suppose if I want to create globally, same. You need to write message is a keyword and we have a syntax. So message, because we have in SE91, we have so many custom message classes. So how the system will be recognized? You need to specify your message class name and which type of message you want to display. Either it is an error message or success or information. So that you need to specify first. message, message type, message number, and message class. So this is the syntax. Message, message type, which type of message you want to display. Then what is the message number? So this message number, from which class onwards you want to display. You need to write within the bracket. Let's see this one. So message of the message type. Suppose if I want to display success message, I need to write S. And whenever I have created this message class, this message, whenever I have given this text has written under this number. So this number is 000. So I want to display success message. My message number is 000. This message number or my text has existed in this message class. So I have to take this message class. Then I can put it in the bracket. So earlier, this text I have written hard-coded value within the program itself I have written. But this text right now I have written in this message class and this is the message number. So earlier I have written the message type as I or information like success. So those I have written within the single quote. But right now, before the message class, I need to specify. So let's see. Invalid sales document number. So this one I have written in SC91 transaction code, but still it is showing because we have written the syntax. So based on that, system will go to the message class. It will take that particular message number and it will check the type, whether it is success or information or error. So this message class, like this message, what I have written in this message class, I can use in any number of programs because I have created globally. Once I create here, I can call or I can access into any other object. So that is the advantage of message class. If you have created in EC91. So we can reuse same message class, same messages. So no need to write again and again. Suppose I want to display message like here I am giving the sales order number. Like whenever I click on execute, it has showing an input stream. Suppose here I'm entering a value and I'm clicking on execute. There is no output because this sales order number, it is not exist in the table. If it is exist in the table, it will be fetched from database table. If it is not there, it won't display any output. The user cannot understand if it is empty. So before displaying this one, like whenever user has entered any input, if it is not exist in the table, then we have to give a message like please enter a valid sales order number. In that way, suppose if I want to do like that, so here we are passing the input to the first table. If you look at the program, PVBLN I am passing to the first table, VBAK table. From VBAK table onwards, we are fetching VBLN field. So here I'll write a statement if size sub C not equal to 0, meaning that if it fails the above condition, if the above condition is false, so not equal to 0 is nothing but above condition is false. So size sub C used to return the previous line, like whatever the previous line has existed. So that will be indicates with the help of size sub RC. It is a system variable. If the previous condition is true, then we will return if size sub RC equal to 0. If previous condition is false, then we will write the statement if size sub RC not equal to 0. So not equal to means here we will write the symbol less than, greater than together. So if the above statement is false, when the above statement will be false? Whenever we are passing the input. If it is not existed in the database table, it won't fetch the data from the database table. Suppose whatever I have given the input, if it is existed, then it will go to VBAK table. It will take these columns, then it will be stored in this internal table. So based on my input, it is fetching the data from the database table. Suppose if my input is not existed, so I'm giving the input sales document number. Suppose by mistakenly I have given the wrong input, which is not existing in the database table. So it doesn't display any output. So at that time, I want to display a message to the end user. That one message. Let me go to message track what I have given. Okay, I can use the same message. Let me copy this one. Here, I want to display it as an error message. And let me change the message here. One more message I'll add. Table data have been displayed successfully. So this is my another message. So once you enter the text, save it. So instead of this message here, I will change it as a 1 because here I thought I want to display this message, right? So I just changed the message number because I have written the text, the right text at the message number 001. So same message number I have passed here. Where is my message? Yes, here. And if so, whatever the input we are passing, if it is not existed, then it will raise this message, error message. Or else it will go to the next statement, like it will fetch the data from this table. Afterwards, based on this internal table, it will fetch the data from second table. So if the previous condition is successfully existed or successfully done or successfully completed or not, so that we can able to identify with the help of this statement, Sai Sabarsi. So which gives the previous statement whether it is executed successfully or not. So to check that, we can use the statement if Sai Sabarsi. Not equal to 0 means it is failed. Above condition is failed. Suppose if Sai Sabarsi equal to 0 means above condition is true, successfully completed. Or we can say true. Now let me save. So now I'll give a wrong input and I'll try to execute. See, there is a message, invalid sales document number. So this message has triggered. First one, which I have given in the 000. Earlier, there was an empty table. It wasn't displayed anything, but field labels are displayed. Now, there is no field labels, just is showing a message, which is an error message, invalid sales document number. So user can see the message and they will understand, okay, we have entered wrong input. Then they will correct the sales order number. Suppose if I want to see whatever, like there is a requirement whenever user is entering the input, this input they have entered, right? When they are executing, just it is showing invalid sales document number. But along with this message, they want to see what input they have entered. Along with this message, what input they have entered. If they want to see that value, that is also possible. So that is possible with the help of ampersand. If you want to pass any values along with the message, then we have to use ampersand symbol. So with the help of this symbol, we can pass at the same time message and value. Suppose here I have entered 100, some number wrong input I have entered. So it has to display a message like invalid sales document number and what is the document number. So in that way, if user want to see, then here after message we have to use with, I became it with which variable we are passing input using this parameter. So take this parameter and here we can pass it. Now, before this, here I need to use ampersand. So here I am using ampersand. So this symbol will be replaced by parameter value which I am passing. So let me save it. Okay. Now I'll go back to program. I'll save, check, activate, and I'll execute. Here I'll pass some wrong input and I'll execute. See, invalid sales document number and value also there. Earlier, it was displayed only one message. Now, along with the text, it is displaying the value which I have entered. So, how this value is existed? Because I have given ampersand. So, along with this text, instead of ampersand, this value will be replaced by the value which I have given to the variable. So, that is a parameter. Based on which parameter I am going to enter the sales order number, I have given parameter. So this value will be, this ampersand symbol will be replaced by our input. So like this, we can put four ampersands, meaning with one message text, we can pass four messages at a time, four values, or not four messages. With one text, we can able to pass four values. Suppose here I have displayed one value. Suppose if I want to display four values, I can able to display. Four is the maximum number. I cannot able to display more than four at a time. Four values with a single text. So ampersand, which is used to replace the value which user has entered. So like this, we can pass up to four values to a single message. The maximum limit is four. So in this way, we can create message class locally and globally. Till here, do you have any doubts? So today, I have explained how to create a radio button and how do we pass the condition to the radio button, then message class creation locally and globally. So we do have last one option checkbox with parameters. Just I'll give you the syntax how to create a checkbox. So here I have written the condition for radio button. If first radio button is selected, execute this code. If second radio button is selected, execute this code. Like that I have written. Similar way, we can write for the checkbox also. So checkbox we can able to create with the help of parameters keyword. Let me use the new one. Like C1, I'm giving checkbox as checkbox. So this is the syntax. To create any checkbox, we have the syntax checkbox name as checkbox. Suppose if user has selected this checkbox, what needs to be done, that we will write with the help of if condition. Like if C1 is equal to X, capital X, meaning user has selected the checkbox. Similar way, how we have written the logic for the radio button, similar way we need to write the logic for the checkbox. So always remember, either it is a checkbox or radio button, selected means we have to pass capital X value. Let me save. I haven't written any logic for the checkbox that you can write it. See, now there is a checkbox. If I'm clicking on that, it is getting a right mark, meaning I have selected. If I click on that, it is unchecking. Suppose if user has selected this one, then if you want to show something, you have to write the condition. If C1 is equal to capital X, what do you want to display? That you can write the logic. So With the help of parameters, we can create a single input value. We can able to create radio buttons, hitboxes. And if you want to pass the default value, we can pass with the help of default keyword. Suppose if you want to make any input value as a mandatory or compulsory field, we can use a keyword called obligatory. So these are the additional options to the parameters. Based on the requirement, we can use. It is not mandatory in one program you can have all the options of parameters. No, not like that. So depends on the requirement we can use. So these are the additional options to the parameters. Any doubts?
No, Sneha, all good.
I do have one more concept. So select options we'll see in different scenarios. So for this program, instead of passing a single input value, we can pass a range of input value with the help of select options. So that we'll see in the coming up classes.